going old school. Oh, I think I can go new school too. Let me think about it for a second. The sleepless nights, the broken something. No, tried. The sleepless nights, the empty, the desperate calls, the broken road. Spitting bottles, staring down a broken nose. That's probably my favorite. I'm sick to death of standing in the bitter cold. The rue the day they let me hit that one, didn't I? I felt the lights and I'm not going back there. I talk to your ghost every night in my sleep. And I say I'm true playing games when I don't care. You can block the exits, I ain't flinching. Bayside built me. No. So, yeah, those of you that didn't know, that is Becky Lynch's new theme song, which I was going to try to gripe about when it first came out, but then she told the story of how cool it was. And then I was like,
she did gripe about when it first came out.
I did. And then I felt bad when I heard how personal it was to her. And then I was like, oh, no, I like it now. So then I went out of my way, as you can tell, to learn the lyrics in the hopes that the last time they were in Kansas City that she might show up. She didn't. But maybe she will this time. I don't know. They're coming to SmackDown's coming June 19th. This stuff
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we already got tickets. So I'd like to thank the Roddy and Jules Fund for helping us with that. So welcome to our viewers.
I told you we wouldn't spend any of that money on anything frivolous.
That's
like
right.
Food or
no,
rent.
We spend it on the fun things. That was the point of the Roddy and Jules money. It's what it was meant to do. And what more perfect way than to use it for wrestling? Because we write wrestling. Yeah, that's right. It's research and development. Yes.
It's a write-off.
Yeah, you understand. So, welcome to Julia Pop. Also, I'm trying cross-posting today, so let's hope that works itself out to the Roddy and Jules page.
I'm Roddy.
I'm Jules. So, if you found us on that, thank you. I am also, in my spare time, Julia Pop with me as my co-host. He has been upgraded to co-host because of the thematic content. We have Steven.
It's me.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. If you watched last week's, you'll notice that I ran out of time. I had so much storytelling. You helped. Yeah. So we ran out of time to tell the story about how awesome the storytelling of WrestleMania is. And you can get caught up in the stories. You absolutely can. And so that was what I did. I went ahead and let myself get caught up in the stories. And like I said before, and like I'll say again, whether you love wrestling or not, it's not going to matter. We've got really fun stories to tell because we made a choice to go to WrestleMania and we're going to tell the whole story. And of course I have props because I have so many props all over the house. It's ridiculous. So, but yes, like I said, the theme is not just WrestleMania this time, but specifically our WrestleMania that we went to in 2022. Now, originally, the idea for wanting to go to WrestleMania, one of the biggest ones was I was so excited to watch WrestleMania when it happened in 2019. That was the year that Becky became, I believe, no, 2018, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there, it was the year that Becky became Becky Two Belts. And I was like, man, I really want to go to that. Let's see if we can get some money together and do that. So, I've mentioned it before. I'll go ahead and mention it again. Crystal says, you always run out of time no matter the subject you like to research. Yeah, my best friend knows me really well. Welcome, Crystal. Thank you. So, yes. And so we wanted to tell, although I had all the research and the fun I think that we had telling last week's story, we're going to talk about our experience with it. So, like I said, in 2019, I was like, man, I really want to go. And he's like, yeah, let's make a plan. Let's figure it out. So I started looking into travel packages and I started looking into WWE.com and the ticket program that they have there. They had announced that it was going to be in Dallas. Nope, I take it back.
Tampa.
Yep. They had announced in 2019, they announced that 2020 was going to be in Tampa. Do you guys remember what happened in 2020? So either way, so WrestleMania happens in the spring. And this particular WrestleMania, and I might have to get my glasses out so that I'm able to read that. So what we did is, to be quite, full disclosure, we paid $5,000 for a full 4-night, 5-day, 4-night, whatever it was, full hotel stay paid for within all of that. tickets for 4 events, because when you go to WrestleMania, usually you might just go to one night, but oftentimes you want to go to the SmackDown Friday night, the night before. WrestleMania is Saturday. Now WrestleMania is 2 days, so WrestleMania is Sunday, and then you also want to go to Raw the next day. So our package had tickets for all of that, and also
WrestleMania Sunday.
Did I say that wrong? WrestleMania Sunday,
Yes.
and Raw Monday.
Well, yeah,
WrestleMania Sunday.
when it was only one day,
it was
on
Sunday.
not Saturday.
And then it used to have NXT had a pay-per-view that would happen on
A
Saturdays.
lot of times,
So
yeah.
that was what we had paid for, and we had tickets to all 4 main events. Also, the Hall of Fame ceremony, which was at that point happening the Friday or Saturday. And so we had tickets to all of it, and the WWE Con, which they called Access. So when it finally arrived, it came in this awesome, amazing package, very shiny, very cool, magnetically held together. And so it was really exciting to get this in the mail, and it had all of the stuff. Now you'll notice I'm talking, like I said, let me repeat myself, we're talking about 2020 right now, 2020 WrestleMania. So we had all of these plans underway, and I'm going to show you basically everything that they sent us. So first of all, it was a smaller little packet that had all of the tickets for all of the nights. So it was Hall of Fame, SmackDown, WrestleMania Access at the Tampa Convention Center, NXT TakeOver, WWE Presents WrestleMania, and let's see, hang on, I'm trying to get it open. So WrestleMania, and Monday Night Raw. So we had all of these stacks of old school tickets sent to us, along with a full 5-night gold itinerary, because gold was the package that I bought for that amount, that $5,000, and it just has the rundown on everything that was happening and when it was happening. And this was when WrestleMania was intended to be just one night. It also had a layout of the arena, so you can actually see where you were sitting. Yep. Not only, and the thing is, it was 2 separate arenas. It was Amalie Arena, which is where they had the smaller, where they had Raw and SmackDown. Yep. And it just showed you that layout. And then Raymond James Stadium, big giant place where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. And you can actually see the little Buccaneer ship over here. I know it's kind of glaring a bit. So, but yeah, so we had maps for all of the above. This was our round trip bus transportation to WrestleMania 36, because the hotel that they had us in, there was bus boarding. So bus boarding began at 12:30 and was to depart at 1 p.m. That's how early you had to get there. Plus, we also had our little wristbands for our travel package to show that we were supposed to be there for that full amount of time. And then of course, our hotel tickets and everything else that went with it. So March comes around and everything gets shut down because it's March 2020, right? So we're like, well, crap, how does this go? So we ended up getting a full refund. So WWE did right by us. We're kind of like concerned on what to do, listened to the doctors, and ended up taking it strictly to TV only. They moved everything out of Tampa, out of the Tampa Convention Center, out of all of that. None of the activities that involved people gathering, all of that went away. And it was just the wrestlers who were going through very active testing. If anybody had it, they were out. They couldn't come into the center. And it all went to Orlando, Florida, where the training facilities are, which is where NXT normally tapes. And so they took it all to that, and it was nothing. And the thing is later, as they were trying to figure out how they could monetize and still keep these wrestlers wrestling, they had, what did they call it? The Thunderdome. And so you would dial in on video, on your video camera, and you would be a video face on the wall. And so that had not even happened yet for WrestleMania. WrestleMania was done in a basically silent building, no audience. The only audience was the TV audience watching at home. So it was weird, but we watched it anyway. We enjoyed it anyway. Now, come 2021, there were still some limitations in place. So they did make it back to Tampa with the pirate theme and everything. Of course, you know me, I love pirates, Ren Fair being a favorite thing of mine. So it's kind of, wishing that we could go, but the time just wasn't right. Busy with work, everything else that went down.
Well, and we were once bitten, twice shy.
Exactly. And so with the protocols in place, the thing is it hadn't really run its course.
Yeah, 2021 spring, it was still kind of shut down, and you weren't
Yeah,
sure.
it
And
was.
how
It was
you
still.
were going
Yeah,
to fly there? Airports were a pain in the ass.
yeah, it was still a big question mark. And so we waited an extra year, and then came the moment where 2022 was coming, and we're like, you know what? Let's do it again. Here's the budget, 5K. Let's do it. And so changes, as you know, had occurred. They went from one night to 2 nights, and then the 2 nights went so well because you
And
gotta
if memory
realize.
serves, it was a little cheaper in Dallas.
No, it ended up being the same,
Was it
but
the
we
same?
got an extra night of
Oh, that's
WrestleMania
right.
out
That's
of it.
right.
Yeah. So, and it was weird because at first we didn't know if we were going to get NXT tickets or not, and we didn't know what the timing was going to be because since it was happening, Mania itself was happening on Saturday, Sunday, we weren't sure how it was all going to shake out. For a while, we had access tickets, but then they removed them. But then they're like, "Oh no, this part of it's complimentary," but they tiered access. Was what that means is all of the extra panels, certain panels you had to pay for. Whereas previously you could just get in and go wherever. They took that away, but they gave us access, but it was limited. So we didn't get a chance to go see Becky and Seth do the meet and or the Q&A. Again, we had budget to work out. So that would have been the only place where there was an additional expense where they had changed it around. So,
Well, and wasn't there something about you could choose to do NXT or
yes.
choose to do
Yeah, I
Monday
think
Night
that, yeah,
Raw?
there was something else where it was changed up just a little bit. So, but with that in mind, this packet didn't come to us. We didn't get physical tickets. The whole thing happened on the phone because, of course, the shift as it was happening and keeping things more, it's greener to do, you're killing fewer trees is kind of the concept. So we didn't get this one when it came time for us to do 2022. We just set the whole thing up on our phones. And so we drove. We're 8 hours away, so we had a wonderful road trip. Well, no, we had a road trip. He drove, which is perfect. He's the wheelman. You use the wheelman, right? That's how you do that. So, and the fun thing is, and the dorky thing is about us is we're great on road trips. Like even when we get confused and lost with the directions, which can be frustrating, we still make it through. And especially when the sailing is smooth, like it's easy, it's fun. We have just the time of our lives on road trips. It's why it's so easy for us to drive all the way to Oklahoma, all those times that we drive all the way to Oklahoma for Ren Fair there. So
not everyone likes to be trapped in a car with me as much as this one does, though. It can be a little scary at times.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. So, but it was an experience we really wanted to do. So, of course, we went ahead and got that. So it was an 8-hour drive. And we got up to the hotel. Now, the hotel was walking distance. Well, for us, walking distance, maybe not walking distance for everyone, but hotel was walking distance to where SmackDown Friday and Raw on Monday were happening.
And access.
Yes, and access was also walking distance as well. So we did a lot of walking there, and then WrestleMania
We did the other thing too.
Yes, and that's an additional thing. And so, so Clive said cars have good acoustics for music, though. Yes, so we did a lot of singing, a lot of listening to music, a lot of talking, a lot of those good things. And so, indeed, we did. And so everything else was walking distance. We had to take a bus, they had the bus that shuttled us to the stadium for Mania Saturday night and for Mania Sunday night. And of course, we're good at showing up early and being on time and making sure we've got a seat, a place to be, all of that good stuff. So that was the only busing that we really did. And of course, it was fun because you're just in a big old bus with fellow excited wrestling fans. And so you see in really great shirts. For example, let's take a moment to admire the shirts. Steven went old school because he has New Year's Revolution that took place in 2007, Sunday, January 7th, 2007.
It's here in Kansas
and it was
City.
in Kansas City, which is why he got the very special shirt.
This one was the first pay-per-view that I ever went to, and I took my boy.
Oh, Zay went with you. How cool is that?
It was our first WWE event.
Nice.
that he went to.
That's amazing. Yeah, the first one I went to was a Raw in 2016, and that was me down the rabbit hole. So I was curious about it, and after seeing it live, I turned into what you see before me. I don't know if I can name these. It's a bit worn out, but I'm gonna try. We've got Randy Orton, Edge, Adam Copeland, and together they were are
Rated.
rated RKO. I know RKO has been in a couple of tag teams, and they were going up against Degeneration X, which would be Triple H, who's a big wig in the company. Also a big wig in the company would be his buddy, his bestie,
Paul Levesque.
Shawn Michaels. Oh yes, sorry, he's Paul Levesque now apparently, but he's still Triple H. People call him Trips. People call him Hunter. It's still a thing. And Shawn Michaels, of course, who does a ton of running of NXT.
Shawn Michaels either.
Is he going by his
real name?
But I thought he was.
His name is Michael.
Yeah, so maybe he's Mike. I don't know. And then over here we've got John Cena. I know maybe you can't maybe you can't see John Cena, but there he is. And then over here we've got Umaga, and they were going up against
part of the bloodline.
And that's right. Umaga is part of that same bloodline of Roman Reigns and The Rock and all of those people. And I always forget the name of the guy in the middle. I don't know. It's on the back there.
He's a manager guy.
What is it? Estrada. Armando Estrada. So I don't even know this guy, and he's on yours. Now,
he's all right.
My guy got to wrestle this WrestleMania, and it's Demon Finn Balor. Scary, scary, scary. So I was very excited to see the Finn come back in this awesome getup. This is the puppet version of his, and not to say that every time there's a puppet for sale on WWE Shop that I get it, but let me just hang on. There we go. Yeah, that's the other puppet that I got. Bray Wyatt had a whole set of puppets, so I couldn't afford all of the puppets. I did still have a budget, so of course I picked my favorite, which is Ramblin' Rabbit. So yes, and there is a puppet like this on the way. It just didn't make it in time. So. Yes, and so now I'll have 2 WWE puppets that I physically own. Fun times. And so, anyway, we get there to the hotel. It was a wonderful hotel. We didn't spend a whole lot of time in the hotel because there was so much to do. Now, one of the additional things, all of the things that we've talked about so far were WWE sanctioned. Now, in addition to this, at a separate location, attached to a separate hotel, they had what was called WrestleCon. And it is run by a separate company, and all of the independent wrestlers, a ton of AEW, which was a competing group or a competing company, a bunch of those wrestlers were there at the con. And so we did spend at least a day going through all that and had a lot of fun, some fun stories to tell too. Crystal says, it's a creepy Muppet like Ralph on drugs to me. Yeah, probably. But you know me, I like that creepy, gothy kind of stuff. So that's where we're going with it. So do you want to go ahead and start? So we got there for SmackDown on Friday, and then right after SmackDown, you stayed in your little arena seat, and they went straight into the Hall of Fame induction. The people that we got to see go into the Hall of Fame were Shad Gaspard, the Steiner brothers, home of Steiner Math, which I'll let you do a little example of Steiner Math here in just a minute, Vader, and then Queen Sharmell, who is married to Booker T, actually, and she was one of the WCW Nitro girls, and then the big one, the headliner, Undertaker, was a very big one, and they had an entire display at Access of his stuff. We did pay extra to go into the display, the Taker display, but it was worth it. It was really a ton of fun, and we got to see what I wanted to see back in 2020 but couldn't. Part of why we wanted to go in 2020 was we had a feeling that Undertaker was going to retire soon, and I wanted to see him live. Whether I saw him wrestle or whatever, I wanted to see that entrance. And so when that happened in 2020, I didn't think it was going to happen. Then he goes into the Hall of Fame, and you get to see the entrance. So it's really dramatic. All the lightning, everything goes purple. The moon comes up across the screen, and he comes out and rolls his eyes back, and it's really scary. Yes. The joke is that he takes 25 minutes to get to the ring, and I've not timed it, but it can't be far off. It can't. But that's the thing, it's so dramatic, and people are so excited to see Undertaker because he's one of the all-time greats. And so, yeah, it looks a little something, hang on, let me find it, like this. This is one of the little things that we got at WrestleMania Access. Had we been at a meet and greet and had him sign it, we could get him to sign it, but we just, this is just kind of one of the things that we were able to get as part of our going through the Undertaker experience. And what's interesting about whenever you...
She just dropped the same thing twice.
I know. So whenever you are at the show, sometimes you will have some really cool fans that you get to meet sitting around you, right? And sometimes they take it upon themselves and their home computer printers to print out some things, and if you want to hold it up, you can. So there was an entire section of "Thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker." And so a whole entire section that these people just sitting near us gave these, and of course, I had to save him because it was just such a cool thing. And watching him go in, and he had like the longest speech, but it was really good and really funny. And I think it was his first attempt at doing something very similar to what Mick Foley did years ago, which was he did a stand-up tour, and it was really just storytelling. So basically, inspired by Mick Foley doing his storytelling tour, Taker wanted to do it too, and he has. It's been called, they're called the One Dead Man Show, like a one-man show, but they call it One Dead Man Show because Dead Man was one of his many nicknames. And so it was really cool to get to see that. And like I said, lightning, thunder, purple, awesome. His whole family was there. Other wrestlers were there. It was just really cool to get to see all of that. And it's neat because they put a bunch of the wrestlers will dress up in their finest tuxedos, amazing gowns, and they'll sit there and watch. And it's really fun because in between introductions, you'll see the camera pan to all of these famous wrestlers. If they're a good guy, everybody yays. If they're a bad guy, everybody boos. It's really entertaining to watch that as well. Of course, at this point, Becky and Seth have not only outed themselves as being part of as being together as a couple, but they've already had the kid by this point. She's already, Becky's already made her comeback after having the kid. So of course, all of this is playing into it too. So of course, you see them sitting together, looking fantastic with their outfits and everything.
Be
so,
quick.
am I running? It's only 20 after. We've got some time. We're on Friday. So we did get to see that. And then we walk on home. Now, what's cool about Dallas is where we were in like a downtown type area. Lots of sculptures, some really cool stuff. We got to see, let me hang on. So Mobil, the gas company, is based there in Dallas, and they have this really cool Pegasus that is their logo, and they had a huge neon thing, and it's just out in the front of one of the hotels where our friend Bill worked. I think he's still there, I'm not for sure, but it was really cool because and side story, that whole week, if you know me, you know I wear kind of loud pants. Sometimes I have like bright plaid pants, striped pants, all kinds of like really loud pants. I don't know, it's just fun. It's how I like to do that. But our friend who was working at the hotel where the Pegasus, Peggy, he's like, yeah, I was looking out the window, I saw somebody with really wild pants, and I was like, maybe that's Julie, I know she's in town. So it's entirely possible that yes, that was the case. It was probably me. So it was cool to be able to walk around. There were like park areas and all kinds of neat stuff, and I took a ton of pictures. Highly recommend if you go to my personal page, and I'm trying to post pictures as well onto the Julia Pop page so that you can see all the stuff that we got to see while we were in Dallas, because we still, we didn't do everything you could do in Dallas, but it was nice to be able to wander around and do some really cool stuff. So of course, from that point, we had WrestleMania Saturday, take that back. We've got to get to Access. Access was at the convention center, again, like I said, walking distance, and that's the WWE sponsored one. So
and it was multiple days.
Yes, that one was for all of the days. Like you could have gone there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and it was open like the whole time. And so we just kind of gauged out, all right, well, we need to be on the bus by this time, so let's go do that at this time. And it had so many things to shop, so many things to buy. So I'll show you some of the crap that I bought. Of course, I love a good pin. So I bought a whole bunch of pins. I brought Welcome to Big Time Bex. At the time, Xavier Woods had done King of the Ring, so he's got a lovely King Xavier. And I have, of course, Edge as well, who had made a comeback in 2021, right around then. And then, like I was telling you before, RKO, Randy Orton was in a tag team with Matt Riddle at that time. And I didn't like Matt Riddle for a while, but then he joined RKO. And I was like, okay, it's not so bad. He's kind of funny. And then, of course, one of the pins that I actually had to buy again because I lost it at a Ren Fair, McIntyre. So it was a very
Don't
important
make me
one
blow out the
to make
internet.
sure. Yeah, we don't want to do that. And then it was really cool because they had like a fake tattoo place where they would get the little, and it wasn't just like slap it on and wash it off. They stayed on for a couple of days. So he got Undertaker, I got Becky. It just said the man. And then we had these other really cool things that we got to do, which you could buy, and of course it's additional purchase, where you could buy an entrance. It's like, who do you want to enter as? Do you want to come in as Roman Reigns? Do you want to come in as this? And they had just random belts. And you put that belt over your shoulder and come out like you were that wrestler, right? So of course I came out to Becky Lynch, and I'm gonna try and post that one for you as well. It's on my personal page as well. And the other one that we did is you could do a commentary.
Who did I come out with, or did I not do it?
I don't think you did that one, but you won. The one you did with me though was you could be the commentary table. And so we did a 5-minute commentary, and then we saved the video and we're able to keep it through these lovely QR codes. And we got to call the last 5 minutes of Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, where Becky wins at the end. And the Becky winning at the end was a bit controversial. And so one of the big reasons why is because, were those shoulders on the mat? Were they? Yes, no. Well, the ref thought so, and so he did the devil's advocate side. I don't think they were down the whole time. And I'm like, no, they were down the whole time. What the ref says, final. Becky wins. Becky 2 belts. And so it was really fun for us to go back to that time, and that was kind of the moment where I was like, that takes me back to the moment that I said, let's go to WrestleMania. So it was really cool, full circle moment. And they had like cardboard cutouts, all kinds of really great stuff. So on the Friday, Saturday, some point in there,
Saturday,
we're walking around and we see an NXT wrestler that we recognize, and his name was Cameron Grimes.
one of my personal favorites. So Cameron Grimes was big in TNA wrestling for a long time. He worked with Hurricane Shane Helms in his little, because they're all from the same place. So in like a 3 or 4 person thing, he's just fantastic. He is athletic. He's charismatic.
So,
he is one of my personal.
And I love a good promo, and I love a good storyteller, and so he just kept calling out Ted DiBiase, and so got Ted DiBiase involved in this. And that's a wrestler from like way back, the 70s, the 80s. He was a manager, so that kind of brought him back into the fold as well. And it was just a fun joke that he just kind of grabbed a hold of, and then all of a sudden, actual Ted DiBiase is involved in the storyline. So it's really fun to watch him tell the story. And so what we didn't know that night is that the following night, he was going to win the North American Championship. And so as he was walking around, he wasn't really being mobbed, because when you're in NXT, you're coming up.
He didn't really like have handlers.
No,
he was just like roaming
he was in
around.
a suit, but he was just kind of wandering around, and we're like, "Are we really seeing this?"
Yeah,
and
I was
nobody's
like
tackling him. Like, what's going on?
That's not just somebody dressed like him. That's him.
No, and so we went up to him, and he was the kindest. He's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, we'll take a picture." And his big thing is, to the moon. And so you put your finger up like that, and so that's what we did. We've got this great picture of us just beaming, smiling, and he's excited. He's just happy to be there. As we leave him, over time, we kind of hear him over at the action figure area, and he's like, hey, and he hands somebody his phone. He's like, hey, could you take a picture of me with me? Because it was his action figure.
He was very excited about having his own
so
action figure.
It was just amazing, and you could just see him taking it all in, knowing that he doesn't know how long this is going to last. He doesn't know if there's ever going to come a time when he doesn't get mobbed. So also during this time, randomly, we hear a commotion. We look around. Kevin Owens, one of the big guys. This is the guy that was going to go up against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Came out of retirement in Texas. Yeah, so you're going to have the Texas Rattlesnake in Texas. We knew we would see Stone Cold. We didn't know in what capacity. So, of course, what's great is about when we see him at Mania that night, on Saturday night, he comes rolling out in the four-wheeler, just zinging around. And was so much fun to see. So getting to see Stone Cold come around, and it was really just him getting to take a bow. But Kevin Owens was an active wrestler at the time going up against him. So they had a match. Kevin Owens comes ripping into Access, and we're like, oh my God, it's Kevin Owens. Oh my God, he's right there. He's like walking past us.
Outpacing his handlers.
Yeah, and they're just running, trying to keep up with him because he's mad. He's on a tear, right? He's after Stone Cold. He's mad. He's like, I can't believe you would do all of this. I'm so angry. and he finds a cardboard cutout of Stone Cold Steve Austin and just bashes the crap out of it. It's broken. Like the pictures that I took, it broke off the head of the cardboard. It broke off the leg of his cardboard. He knocked him down. He goes up and he sits down at this one place where there's places for you to sign, and people are like, oh my God, can we get things autographed? What's going on? What's going on? He sits there. He's like, no, I've had it. I'm done with all of this. This is all just a big ruse. It's all just, it's dumb. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate you all. And because he's playing a heel, he's playing a bad guy, because of course people are cheering for Stone Cold because they love the guy. And so, and he just storms right back out again. So I'm like in a panic, just like, oh my God, take pictures, take pictures. This is amazing. We can't get autographs because he's being his crazy attitude self. And it was just chaos and unbottled, uncorked, and then it was gone again. And I was like, that was kind of cool. And then we didn't really get a whole lot of chance to see. There were wrestling matches. They had a wrestling ring in the middle, and they had some matches. We saw like part of one. We saw somebody cut a promo.
Yeah, interviews. There were a lot of interviews going on.
So I think we got to see the Miz do an interview at some point.
Yeah,
so
we saw the big boy.
Omos. Omos, yes. So at the time, the big man, who's like 7+ feet tall, we got to see him. So that was kind of, and then like I said, we had the Undertaker exhibit, which I took a whole ton of pictures. That was really cool to be able to see. Bought a bunch of stuff. And then we went to the other...
Got like 4 free energy drinks.
Oh, yeah, because of course they have the energy drink places. And so then I needed to make sure that I had a clear bag for WrestleMania, because of course they have rules, right? So I got this really great WrestleMania bag that shows that it was in Dallas. I just have white in here so you can kind of see, but it was a clear bag, and it was something I could take to the stadium with me. So it was very handy to have. I really enjoyed being able to have that. And then, oh, by the way, if I didn't tell you, our room keys had WrestleMania on it because they knew what was in town. So I went ahead and kept the room key. Whenever you bought any of those pins, you had a lovely little WrestleMania with the theme for that year. As you can see, it's a lovely star representing...
That caught on fire.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll get to that here in a little bit because we did go see that. Dang it. I keep missing pieces of story. But in Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys have the blue star, right? So you see the star everywhere. So this was kind of just a little welcome thing. It had my little clear bag policy telling me what I could and couldn't do, when all the different venues open, another thing that kind of described all of the stuff, another QR code for you to know when the access stores were open and everything like that. So another handy little piece of information. And so also while we were there, we ran into Rob Schamberger.
Yep.
At the time, he was the in-house artist for WWE, and he would make a lot of custom shirts, including this custom sticker of Alexa Bliss. And he actually originates from Kansas City, Kansas City area.
Listen.
So yeah, so we had seen him.
His wife worked with my cousin.
So who knew, right? Those small degrees of separation. So we actually got to spend some quality time just talking to him because things hadn't gotten busy yet when we were there. And he, of course, was selling his art and his T-shirts through all of that. So we got a really great picture with him, and we're just chatting.
And he remembered us.
Yeah, because we he's been to other Comic Cons in Kansas City area. We kept dressing up as wrestlers. So you've been. Mick Foley, Undertaker, Roddy Piper, Seth Rollins a few times.
Yeah, Piper was in St. Louis, but yeah.
Yeah, and so we've dressed him up as a wrestler. We were the Dudley Boys.
Rob knows Seth Rollins really
personally.
Well. Yeah. So like their families go on vacation together and everything. Yeah. And so when I was dressed as Seth, he took a photo of me and sent it to Seth.
Right, and the funny thing is, we've discovered that that's happened at least minimum 2 times, maybe 3.
At least 3. Rob's done it twice, and then that referee guy.
Yeah, and so we were in an audience. That was another side note. This didn't happen at WrestleMania. It happened in Kansas City. We found out that there was a SmackDown happening on the same Friday that there was also a Comic-Con in Kansas City happening. So we're like, okay. We'll go dressed as wrestlers to the con, and then right after, we're just going to go dressed as wrestlers straight to the show. So, of course, I'm dressed as Becky. He's dressed as Seth, and they do a picture again. He's like, because I wear an orange wig. It's not like I'm the most Becky Lynch-looking person that ever Becky Lynch. But you, on the other hand, have certain similarities that put you looking a lot like the thing that here he is. I bought him at WrestleMania, a stuffed version of See, you can see it, right? Tell me, you can see it. And so they took a picture and like, oh man, we got to show Colby this. Colby's his real name.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, turn around, come back.
So that was very.
That's when he told me, he goes, I'm a referee at
Black and Brave. Yeah.
Black and Brave, which is his training school, his wrestler training school up in Iowa.
Yep. So that was kind of our WWE related con. We also had WrestleCon, and we paid extra for that because it's a separate company, separate corporation. Now that particular hotel had a Starbucks in it, which was really handy for me because I do have a Starbucks addiction. Yeah, you've heard probably. And so when we went there, the amount of random people that you would bump into
around
got
Starbucks
huge, and people were going in to Voodoo Steve. There he is. He's back again. Voodoo Steven. Voodoo tell Steven. Does your head feel comforted right now? Hang on. How's so we once we got to that con, we're in line waiting for Starbucks. And we saw
before the con technically opened.
Yes, and so it's like, all right, let's get some breakfast, get me some tea. We're in line, and you can't miss him. He's 7 feet tall, Big Cass. You can't teach that. No, you can't teach that. Big Cass is in the line. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, you know me, I get excited. I'm like, I turn around and look at Steve. I'm like, oh my God, it's him. It's him. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is crazy. This is so cool. And then Adam Cole, another wrestler, and
no, Adam Cole came later.
Was later, yes. And so when we're in this lineup, we just don't know which wrestlers we're going to see. Yeah. And so we saw Adam Cole and his significant other at the time, Britt Baker.
Adam Cole and Britt Baker, they're Adam Cole, everybody loves him, and Britt Baker, nobody liked. I mean, she's a bad guy.
She's playing a bad guy. You're supposed to boo her at this time.
She's supposed to be hated.
Yes.
And so they have someplace to go, and it was later on in the evening. But they had someplace to go that they needed to go get signatures or whatever, and the line was really long and everything, and they're looking there, and they don't want to be those jackasses that are like
busting in line or whatever.
Yeah, so let us cut in line. Yeah. I think Adam Cole said something about, well, maybe we could get somebody to like get it for us or something. And they're like right in front of us.
Yeah, and we're just watching a conversation happen.
So I just go, well, it's probably better he asked than you ask, because I just don't think people would do you that favor. And she kind of chuckled. She's like, yeah, that's true no matter what, though.
Oh, no, not Britt Baker. Yeah. But then somewhere along the escalator, we bump into, and like I said, it's a drive-by. We bump into Jake the Snake Roberts wearing a number 10 Chief shirt. The guy had just gotten traded, Tyreek Hill had just gotten traded.
Tyreek Hill. So as he's coming down and I see it, I holler out to him. I'm like, "Did you get that jersey on sale?" He's like, "Yeah, it's going down by the $1 every second."
And that was it. That was the drive-by, and it was just such a cool. And he had handlers too, but it was just this pleasant, fun little moment where
Jake the Snake was another one of my all-time favorites from back in the day. He was a bad guy, but he's a classic bad guy. Evidently, I like the bad guys.
Apparently, what were the odds? You named yourself after Piper. Yeah. And then the big one at Starbucks, Christian Cage. At the time,
he's Christian Cage.
Is that what they call him? Okay,
they have
bad word.
Yeah.
So basically, he's I'm in line, he's in line somewhere behind, and he's kind of running late too. And so one of the guys that's in the line, also a fan, is like, hey, I'm actually signed up for your meet and greet, so I can bring it to you if you want to go ahead and set up, and then that way you're not late, and I will you've already paid for your coffee, I'll just bring it to you. That's okay. And so he agrees to it, but then he needs to grab a couple of packets. Well, I have already gotten my stuff, and I'm getting my spoon and napkins and everything, and Christian Cage is coming closer and closer and closer to me. I'm like, and in the Learn to Fly Foo Fighters video
and I'm watching the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and he's like somewhere sitting down and seeing the whole thing from afar happen, but from close enough you can see everything that's going on. And so, like I said, Dave Grohl playing the little 13-year-old girl freaking out when she sees Dave Grohl on the plane, and she's like, and that's me. I'm like, I'm trying to hold it in, and like Christian Cage is right next to me, and as he's coming over for the packets, he reaches across me and says, "Excuse me," and grabs these couple of packets. So I am just, he spoke to me, right? I'm just being a complete dork. So I take my stuff back to Steven where he's sitting, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it was so amazing." And he had already seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just re-describing it. I'm just re-describing it. I'm like, "Oh my God." And he said, and he reached over across and he just said, "Excuse me." And he said it to me. And he's like, "No, he didn't."
No,
like,
I go, "No, he didn't."
like,
she's like, but that's what he... I go,
yeah.
"No, he didn't say excuse me. He said, excuse me."
And then it was exactly what he said, because it was very low and very... Yeah. "Excuse me." I'm like, "Oh no, you're right. That's exactly how he said it." So whenever I tell the story, I'm like, yeah. And so he leaned his hand over and just kind of grabbed those sugar packets and said, "Excuse me." So yeah, I just have to make sure that the delivery is proper and correct, because he does have that lower growth voice. And so that was kind of like a very cool moment. We go up into the area where it's all happening, and we end up getting in line for the Iconics, who were independent at the time. And I don't know why I picked this, because it was like, okay, you could do a selfie with us, or you could do an autograph. I'm like, okay, autograph. And I went ahead and got that, and I wish I'd gotten a selfie instead. But it's still a really cool autograph, because what's funny is that this iconography is a WWE thing, as you can see by the WWE down there. And so they signed with their WWE names, because what tends to happen is sometimes WWE keeps your name.
Horrible Vince McMahon was in charge.
Yeah, so
he was so bad about it.
Yeah, he'd get copyright.
He didn't care. Vince McMahon didn't care about wrestling. He didn't. He cared about the WWE. The greater professional wrestling, he didn't give two rats' asses about, because he didn't do stuff that made the whole thing greater. Only him.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I can buy that. I can see that. And so he would copyright names or come up with new names. So, for example, Seth Rollins was not Seth Rollins before WWE. He was Tyler Black. And he and his tag team, right? Well, he named himself after one of his favorite movies, which was Fight Club. He named himself after Tyler Durden. And then, of course, just Black, because Black Flag, he's a big punk fan. And so that was how he put it together. And so he was a tag team partner with Merrick Brave. So Black and Brave became the Academy, and they had a table at WrestleCon. So we march up to the table. It's like, "Oh my God, I've written these songs about the people that hire you." And of course, they look at me like I'm from Mars. It's fine. But I did buy a t-shirt, and they're like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, "Boy, I can't decide." And they're like, "Oh, this one is Becky's favorite." And I'm like, "Sold. Good job. Very good job on selling things." And so it was a very cool kind of moment. Now I have a Black and Brave shirt. I've always wanted one, and so now I have
missed part of the Iconics.
So yes, he outs me.
I threw her under the bus. So when the Iconics came up, I watched NXT. She never watched NXT.
Yeah.
So when the Iconics came up, I knew their shtick, and they're hilarious.
But they're very shrill.
Yeah, well, they're intentionally shrill because they're supposed to be bad guys, so they make their voice something that you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. So she hated it. She was like, "Muted. I will go away if they're on TV." And so I told them that. I told them she hates you.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was a time when I couldn't get to the mute button fast enough, and started laughing my ass off. And I told them that. I was like, "I know, you just have really high voices." And I was like, "Oh,
and
God,
they dropped them down within a few weeks, because I think the feedback came through that, through that particular broadcast, it just
But they won me over, and they were still so sweet and still gave me the autographs, and I was so grateful. And I've told them, I'm like, "You guys are hilarious, you're amazing. I just thought you guys were so fantastic." And they 100% are. They are real life best friends. They're both from Australia. They're hilarious as can be, and very good wrestlers as well, on top of it all. And so it was just a really cool moment. So also there, we got to re-meet Chavo Guerrero. Buy another shirt from him. Of course, I got a cool little Guerrero shirt that has him and Eddie and some other really cool stuff, and they made it look like a Ramones logo, which I'm a big fan of. And we got to chat with him, and he remembered us. Yeah. It's really cool whenever you dress as wrestlers. I don't know if it's because of that or just he's a good talker. And I just kind of sit there going, "Oh yeah, that's really cool." And I try to chime in as best I can. So getting to talk to Chavo was a whole lot of fun. And we're like, "Oh yeah, is Vicky here?" He's like, "Yeah."
Well, I knew Vicky was there. Vicky was at the other end of the aisle.
Yeah, and I'm like,
now that's his ex-sister-in-law, right? So his brother who passed was married to her.
Or cousin who, so they're all family. They're all family. Yeah. And so,
nephew. Aunt. It was his aunt.
There we go.
Uncle. Uncle A.
aunt-in-law, whatever. Yeah, yes. And so, but he's very pleasant. We really got to talk to him. It's like, oh, is Vicky here? He's like, yeah, she's way over there. Like, we don't get along with her new husband. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
and it was more like, in how he put it, and I'm not
He was
trying to start shit,
no,
but essentially what he said was, I have zero issues with her. I don't really have issues with her husband, but her husband seems to have issues with a lot of the rest of the family, including me.
Okay.
So it didn't sound like he even really
he was
had
really
an issue.
diplomatic about it.
Yeah, he's like, I wouldn't, he's not a good friend of mine, but he's like, I don't have a particular issue with him, and she seems happy with him, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
So that was still on all that was a lot of fun, and of course, like I said, I was running around with loud pants. And as I'm walking along, I see
so many others. We saw so many other wrestlers.
Oh yeah, all over the
we're
all
just fantastic.
And as I'm walking, I hear somebody say, "Hey, cool pants." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I turn and look. It's somebody by the name of Izzy. Now, let's take a short moment to talk to you about Izzy. Izzy has been watching wrestling since she was a kid. She's originally from the Orlando, Florida area, which means that when NXT, the training development place, has up-and-coming wrestlers, she became a huge fan. She is a huge, mega super fan of Bayley, who is one of my top 3 wrestlers. It's Becky, it's Seth, it's Bayley. And she, as a kid, used to dress up just like Bayley. And Bayley used to do the side ponytail and the 80s neon and all the really cool stuff. And she was a super fan. And so Bayley would see her, oh my God, it's Izzy, big hug. Well, her opponent, Sasha Banks, comes out, takes the headband off of her head, off of the little girl's head, and the little girl is crying. Like she made a little girl cry because she's that much of a bad guy. So Izzy has been growing up, and at the point where I meet her, she's approximately 16 years old and training in wrestling. And she's got t-shirts that say Izzy Mania, established whatever year it was that Sasha Banks made her cry, because she became internet famous from that. She started doing a blog. She started calling into other shows, and now she's been wrestling. So she's been wrestling in the indies and has won a title or 2. And so she's well on her way. She's like in her early 20s, I'm thinking now, something like that. Yeah. And so it's amazing to see her. And so we start this organic conversation because she said I had cool pants. I'm like, oh my God, you're Izzy. So of course I bought an Izzy Mania shirt from her because it was just such a great back and forth. And you're right, we saw so many other people. We walked by, Godfather was just right over there, and we saw Ruby Riott going from one place to another, and we just got to see so many people. It was just really cool, and we're like, crap, how do we pick? Who are we going to see? What are we going to do? So we get out of that area, and there's like a little separate lobby area, and everybody's
with the piano.
We haven't gotten to that one yet. We're almost there. But as we're walking around, one of my favorite wrestling casters, live casters, Simon Miller from What Culture Wrestling. So you spot him. It was really cool.
And I'm the one who knew What Culture Wrestling.
You introduced me to What Culture Wrestling, and my favorite was Simon Miller. And he's this bald guy, and he's really funny, and he's animated like me. Yes, he also does wrestling, but he also does commentary on WWE, AEW, all of these things. And so the day after any event like that, he will do coverage on it, and he'll talk you through it, and he'll say if it gets an up or if it gets a down. And so then so it's called ups and downs. So we spot him, bald-headed him, and he's like just kind of standing there chilling out. It's like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan, can I get a picture? And he gets to experience me being a goofball and being all excited about stuff. And he's like, yeah, absolutely, let's get a picture. And I'm like, yeah, that's getting it up. And so he does a little finger thing, and so we take the pose, and he's like, you know what? I hope you keep that energy all weekend long. Like, okay, well, this is so exciting. This is so great. It's so cool. And so it was just a very cool moment where we're just kind of hanging in the lobby. But I got to meet somebody. And again, he wasn't really getting mobbed either. He had a few people coming up.
Yeah, he had people coming up.
He had a few people coming up, but it wasn't like he was getting circled around as heavily like it did later in the night when he's actually doing the live stream at the end of the night. So I
told him that so he has a puppet that he has on of himself that he does during his show. So I'm like, that's what you two have in common. She also has a puppet of herself.
I like puppets, okay? I don't know what to tell you. As you can see by all the ones that I keep ordering. So we have a moment of a break, and there's a piano. There's a grand piano just kind of randomly in this little break area. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I've ever played the song Becky and Seth on piano, but hang on. So I figure it all out, and I play Becky and Seth just for whoever's around, and maybe 2 or 3 people like, that was a really cute song, I like it. Because it's a song about two active wrestlers, right? It's a love song about wrestlers falling in love. And so.
And this is pre Roddy and Jules.
Yes, and so I had written the song because the song Becky and Seth predates the Roddy and Jules project, because I wrote that in 2020, 21, right around there. And then that was the first song I ever wrote. And then from that, it was almost like that was the seed that then started, as things started to bloom, as we started to realize, I started to realize I really wanted to do Ren Fair performance. Of course, we're not doing it. I
also started realizing that she really wanted to do Red Fest performance.
And it's so funny, as good as he is at all of that, I dragged him into it. So, I mean, he wasn't kicking and screaming, but I certainly brought him.
Well, it was screaming, but not for reasons I didn't want to go.
The good kind of screaming, yeah. So,
not that kind of screaming.
So anyway, on to the main event. Like, we have 10 minutes left, so we're just trying to do our best. So I'm trying. We're making it down quite a few of these actually. So, yes, fake jazz pants. Yep.
We mentioned puppets. Ingrid had to chime in.
Yes, puppets are fun. Thank you, Inger, in advance for the puppets we are about to use this weekend for the Unicorn song, because she likes puppets too. So anyway, let's see. We made it through that. Yep, we sure did. Okay, so we get to night one of WrestleMania, and it's a whole lot of fun. We've got really good seats. We didn't go all the way to the barricade. That's even more expensive, but we like to be kind of lifted up just a bit. I don't like to have tall people in front of me. So it's great. We're having a lot of fun. I get to see, sadly, I end up getting to see Becky lose and Seth lose, but they had really cool storylines that went with it. Bianca Belair beat Becky, which was really fantastic, but I got to see Becky's entrance at WrestleMania live, and it was so much fun. Kind of, because there was a guy in front of us holding up a giant Bobby G banner, and I have a picture of when he holds it up that you can't see crap at the ring, but he just kept holding it up, and I'm like, who the F is Bobby G? And other people behind us.
Bobby G is, but he needs his ass whooped.
And he was not the only one saying that. Lots of people behind us were like, yeah, man, I can't see. Hey, put that crap down. And so you never know what you're going to get in front of you, and you've got to be careful. And we tried to be on an elevated level, but he just kept holding the sign up. So it was annoying for a minute, but we got him out of the way. And we survived. Like I said,
survived.
So the thing is that Seth Rollins went into WrestleMania and nobody knew who his opponent was going to be. He's like, I've heard I'm going to have a mystery. Like, they arranged it was going to be a mystery opponent. It would only be revealed at WrestleMania itself. All right. So as this is about to happen, Seth's getting ready for his entrance. Y'all, WrestleMania is sponsored by Snickers. Have you heard? Because they go over and over and over again. And since I'm probably kind of weak for the power of suggestion, everywhere you look, Snickers. Have a Snickers. Have a Snickers. Have a Snickers. I tried to order it. At the time, you could order and like have it DoorDash to your chair. Couldn't get the order to go through. I'm like, Steven, would you go get me a Snickers? And because he loves me so much, he's like, okay, I'll leave and go get you Snickers. He knows what I didn't realize he had done until he came back. He went to 3 different places, 3 different concession stands. He had to wait to get to the third to get the Snickers. Are you kidding me? Why do you have Snickers everywhere? And it took me to the third. Well, while he's waiting in line, the mystery opponent pops out. Cody freaking Rhodes. No, that's not his middle name, but Cody Rhodes. We were not expecting him. This man left WWE years ago, started his own promotion, was in charge of it for a very long time, was like telling all kinds of stories about, I'm done with that crap, I'm doing my thing. Yes, Inger, I'm sorry that you missed Snickers. I wish there was a way to get you that Snickers flavor without making you sick or die. We don't want that. So that happens, and as it happens, I have never felt equal parts elation and upset and sadness and guilt at the same time. It all mashed together like in the movie Inside Out. It was terrible because I was so excited to see someone we never thought was coming back to WWE come back and wrestle Seth, my guy, and win. R.I.P. Seth. Sorry to hear about that. And he was in line and didn't get to see it in person live. And I feel bad to this day. I feel guilt to this day. And he's very sweet because he's like, the wife wanted a Snickers, so I got a Snickers. So it's just, it stands as a noble, sweet, beautiful story. But then it's also the regret that I feel that he's not there. So there's always that little twinge when we watch it on video. And it's really cool because we can see ourselves, because I was wearing like the man shirt and I wore a very bright blue shirt all night too. And so we made sure that we were able to be seen and we could point. We could pause whenever we'd watch it later and point, hey, there's us, we're on TV. And so it was exciting to be on TV. And so we took the extra day in the travel package so we could take a leisurely trip home. There were plenty of amazing, wrestling, everything that we got to see. Like I said, we got to see Bianca versus Becky. We got to see Cody versus Seth. There was also Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of got blown up, beaten up on KO, but it was really fun to watch him beat up on KO. Also, Pat McAfee, when he was a good guy, he's not a good guy right now, went up against a guy named Austin Theory. And when McAfee won, Vince McMahon was still involved with the company. He comes marching down and he fights Pat McAfee and ends up taking him out. Yeah, fights, yeah. But then Stone Cold comes out and stunners for everyone, including Vince McMahon got stunnered. Vince McMahon should win an anti-award for how not to take a Stone Cold stunner. He's terrible at it.
As many as he has taken in his life, he's probably taken more stunners than anybody else in the history of the world, and yet he's still horrible at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I will tell you, Pat McAfee took Stone Cold stunner like a champ. And yes, Ingrid says, so noble, so much love. Very sweet. Very sweet. And then one of the best ever Stone Cold stunners taken was Pat McAfee. He went flying and laying down, and like he's still like half awake, half passed out, pouring beer in his mouth, and half of it's falling out. It was fantastic. So that part was really fun. And like I said, Stone Cold even said later, yeah, I'm a little bit blown up, but I'm okay. And then we also got to see Edge versus AJ Styles, two Hall of Famers going after each other, now Hall of Famers. Liv and Rhea, who also featured heavily this year, went up against Natty and Shayna. So we had a whole bunch of fun. Bobby Lashley and Omos going up against each other. Two big men, my God, look at him. And then the one where we ended up on a couple of times you'd see a video camera go by. We ended up on a camera for most romantic things to happen in WWE or to happen at WrestleMania, and then we're just kind of clapping. What we were clapping to was Johnny Knoxville wrestling Sami Zayn, and I'm like, it wasn't my favorite match of the night, but I'm like, here comes a camera, look excited. So that picture of me that I posted is me trying to look
kind of in the background being
but I'm like, no, it's camera, look excited. They'll probably show this whenever I'm excited about Becky, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what they did. They ended up showing like romantic moments, and there's us. Yay, I'm excited. So, and like I said, we got to see Undertaker's entrance a couple of times because during WrestleMania they announced the Hall of Fame winners a couple of times over, so you get to see them, and it was awesome. So yeah. We only have 3 minutes left. I was like, 3 times? Was it 3 times? So, and then, of course, the big finale was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns ends up with 2 belts and becomes Roman 2 belts and lasts forever, exhausting. And so
And she hated it, never wanted to see him as champion again.
And now I'm excited. The tide has turned. I am sad.
But she's like, oh, I'm so glad he won this. So he just won this last WrestleMania to get his title back finally.
And it's
and she's like all excited. I'm like, oh, no, bandwagon jumper.
But I wasn't. I didn't boo him when everybody else was like, he shoved him down her throat. And I when I first saw him, I'm like, why is everybody booing this guy? He looks like a Superman kind of guy.
I liked him.
And it was like, he's getting shoved down her throat, so we don't like him. And I'm like, well, that's not very fair. So I was not a bandwagoner there, but then when it came time to reject him, yes, I was a bit. But the thing is legit in real life, he's good friends with Seth Rollins, and like they have a really great chemistry and do awesome work together. And they did that at WrestleMania 40 and 41, which I told the stories about last week. 2 minutes, yes, I hear you. So thank you for my Snickers bar. I appreciate it. Then we get to the end of Monday night. What's cool about Cody Rhodes is having him here was so cool. And after everything goes off the air, he stops and gets on the mic and talks to the crowd.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. And one of the things that not a lot of people realize or know, because you don't see these talks happen on TV because it's after the TV cameras have stopped. His ability to be personable with an entire audience like that is so cool. And he's like, you guys are sticking around. It's Monday night. Like, you might have jobs in the morning, and you're still here.
And you're probably people that were here Friday and Saturday
and
Sunday.
And we're just cheering. We're like, yeah, Cody, yeah. And then somebody starts the cheer. Travel, package.
Yeah.
travel package. So we cheer that too. He's like, travel package. You guys are all on the travel package. He's like, yeah, we are. We're like a team now. We're together. We're here with you. We're here for you. And so it was just this great way to close all that off and put us on the road.
He insisted, he goes, I will be the last one to leave this arena today. Mm-hmm. So he goes, if you want to come up and say hi, come up and say hi. I will not leave. I don't care. I'm not going until you all have gone.
Yep. So
he's a good cat.
And then the final side story is that we were very selective about the seats where we like to sit, and we still try to sit in the same place every time.
I have a spot.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does. Like Sheldon, he's got a spot. But I like the spot too because it triangulates. We like to sit where you could see us on camera if you needed to see us on camera, but to where we have a good view of the people coming out the opening ramp and a good view of the ring itself. And so that makes a little triangle. And so we like that little spot. So we were able to get that spot for WrestleMania. It was super exciting, super happy to have that. And like you said, Mathman is on the clock. So it is the top of the hour. So thank you guys for listening to all of our fun stuff that we did. I think I managed to make it through all the cool things that we bought while we were there. So next week's announcement, you don't even know what it is, but it's going to be a fun one. Crystal has suggested it, and we talked about it too. Crystal says he does it at home too for time. Yeah, on the clock. Oh, I've drawn blood. I don't even know how. So it is it a WrestleMania if I draw blood? Sorry. Yeah, I still don't know how I do it.
AEW.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I'll put that aside. But next week's theme is going to be 80s fashion. So we're going to have some fun. No, I know what you looked like in the 80s. It was pretty simple. But no, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about what people think of would have been fashion in the 80s, what people actually wore on a regular basis. I'm going to have a whole bunch of pictures that I'm going to post of what I wore in the 80s. Highly encourage all of you guys, if you have pictures, post them to the Julia Pop page. I would love to see them as well. So we're talking about 80s fashion. We're talking about 80s.
What I wore was mostly Levi jeans and black T-shirts.
So literally what you're wearing right now, but your hair didn't look anything like that.
Not
like
in the 80s.
You had not grown the beard yet either. So, yeah. So
beard came much later. The hair came in the early 90s.
Oh, Crystal's like he does at home too. His spot. He does have a spot at home too. Yes, he does. He has this very specific spot on the couch. Yeah. So he's a creature of habit, if nothing else.
I like my spot.
Yeah, you do like your spot. So, so Inger said high school and college. So yes, I welcome. If you have pictures, if you have stories to tell of all the different clothes and stuff that you wore, I highly welcome it. Hang on, let me see if I can grab the very first thing that I have. Yeah, I got a Swatch watch from the actual 80s. A lovely little polka dot affair. And then also, I thought maybe I could wear some glasses. I didn't own these in the 80s, but I'm pretty sure I owned these in the 80s. I figured you'd like to try those on. And then I have the pair of glasses that I actually made in the 80s. Check these out. Very new wave, right? Like, everything is red right now. But I made these in shop class in 7th grade, so of course I had to hang on to these. How cool was that? No, I did, though. So, and that was where I got that. So, thanks again, guys. All of your comments, very much appreciated. Crystal says, also your comments from Roddy and Jules' page isn't showing to you. Your moms have commented. So, thank you for that. I'll have to figure out a way to make sure that I get all the comments moved up. Clive says timeless, and I agree. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun talking about 80s fashion, talking about 80s makeup, all of the things. And it was not just for girls, it was for boys too. So we're talking men's fashion, women's fashion. The androgyny of it all is a really cool thing. I was about to say
makeup for men was a big thing in the 80s.
I know, and it's exciting to see what was happening in the 80s, and so I'm very happy about that. Again, guys, we're past the top of the hour. Thank you again. We'll look forward to seeing you next time, and we'll talk about 80s fashion. Bye, guys. Thanks again. Let's see if I can get this done. There you go.